to get less of this and more of this. It's happiness and fun, if you can't tell. Well, then you're at the right video, because this is how to get good at Minecraft. Now, the real question is, can one really get good at Minecraft? Well, I mean, Minecraft is technically a sandbox game where you get to choose whatever you want. You can choose creative mode, where you just build whatever you want, design your own creations, or you can play survival mode, which is pretty much the opposite. You try to survive. You can still build stuff, but you try to survive in a world like I'm in right now. See, you have your hearth and your fire. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. I know some of the stuff in this video is kind of beginnery, but just trust me, the time when I do spend explain simple stuff, it'll be quick. If you're out there and you're pretty decent at the game already, but you just wanted to see this video to get some extra tips, please watch the entire video. I promise you I give you some really cool tips and tricks, especially at the end part talking about how to deal with mobs. Please just be patient. If you skip something, then you might skip something that you didn't know. And if you try everything in this video and you practice for like 12 hours, like confirmed, like 12 game hours practicing this, and you're still not noticeably better, or at least you're not even like having noticeably more fun, because this method to play the game is actually way more fun by many accounts. If you practice this and it's not like just better, you can send a comment with your issue and like why you keep dying or why you don't enjoy it. And if I can't help you and can't like address it, if I can't reply back to you and like help you and it still isn't good, then go ahead, you can dislike the video. That is my confidence that this video can help you. And if it does, then of course, you have to like the video, of course, because your life is gonna be so much happier. So yeah, enjoy. Thank you for watching this. Please watch till the end. The answer is yes. One can definitely get good at least survival mode. It is universally accepted that nobody likes dying. Dying does not count as success in a survival world. So that's what I'm gonna be teaching. So strap in, let's get doing this. So the first thing you want to do when you spawn into a world is mine down a tree. Trees give you wood, and wood's how you craft everything else in the game. I know that this video is starting out kind of basic and explaining kind of all the details, but this is good for any player. So, ooh, a village. So, you mine up wood, preferably like 7 logs around. If you can't find any wood, you can explore around. You can even explore around a little bit before you get wood. Something you can also do in your spare time is collect dandelions, and we'll cover this later. Dandelions are actually really good for pro gamer strats. And one thing to know while you're going through this, try to do everything kind of quickly. Don't just be like walking places. Hold control. Run around your world. There's one thing, it doesn't really make any sense, but it like actually is legitimate, is the slower you take to do things, the more likely you are to die. It's like an actual thing. You can either like dig down or find like a cave right here, but craft all of them into planks, craft a crafting table, craft up some sticks. I usually like 8 or 12. Craft a wooden pickaxe, nothing else. Don't ever craft any other wooden tools except for in very specific circumstances. I might cover them later. There's gonna be multiple parts to this video. And you mine up 6 cobblestone and get yourself a stone axe and stone pickaxe. On Bedrock Edition, also get yourself a stone sword, because on Java Edition, then a stone axe deals 9 attack damage, which is more than a diamond sword, so always go for axe if you're on Java. This video is going to be for Java. You can still watch it if you play Bedrock, but it's primarily for Java. It's much better with a keyboard and mouse, more precise controls. You can turn around, but you can also make very precise movements. Anyway, so if you're to a village like I am, and if you're not, don't skip this part, it's good. But once you get to a village, tower up some blocks. I did 3, but if there's land, like if there is a block like right there, then go up 4, because then he'll climb onto the block and he can hit you. But if it's flat like this, then you can do 3. Notice the thing beneath my crossbar, the sword. But this sword under here, see that plus? Because I'm looking at something. See how when I hit it, then it kind of has to fill back up? If you hit before it's, like, done, then you won't deal as much damage. You'll deal way less damage. Wait until you're full. And also, if you're falling down while you attack, you see those particles? That's a critical hit. It deals way more damage. So, you can kill an iron golem like that pretty easy with a stone axe like that. Also, while I'm here, I might as well say if you have an item and you double click it, then it gets all of that item type into that one slot. Also, mine up any hay bales you see if you're at a village. You can craft it into food. You can also do some really pro gamer strats with them that I'll explain later. But just for now, you can just craft it into food. You don't have to worry. If you need more iron, then don't go in a cave unless you're ready. Don't go in a deep one that, you know, might have lots of monsters and like lava in it. Don't go until you're ready. So for now, just look around for there's villages. I'll explain some more stuff later, okay? If you have iron though, what you should craft it into immediately is a shield. Press F to put in your offhand, and yeah, you can block with it. Right click. This is really good against skeletons because even advanced players, skeletons are so hard. Like, and if you have enough iron, then the next thing you'll want to craft up is probably an iron pickaxe. Okay, so how much iron do you need? The amount of iron that you should probably stop, like, going to great risks to find is once you have 7 pieces. Part of being good at Minecraft is definitely practice and watching videos like this. So thank you if you've made it this far into the video. Make sure to like and probably subscribe. I don't know. Yeah, I'll make more parts of these if it does well. Probably even if it doesn't do well. The reason why you should stop at 7 is because the main iron tools you're gonna need are a shield like this, takes 1 iron, an iron pickaxe which takes 3, and a bucket. Buckets are one of the most useful items in the game, especially a water bucket, and we'll see why in a sec. Once you get good at Minecraft, like I'm gonna show you how to get in this video, then armor, like, you stop needing it as much. So anyway, now that I've got all of these iron things, I'll mine up my furnace. I'll save some for later. I'll smelt it later. So actually, I totally forgot. You actually need 8 iron pieces, like most likely, because this 8th one you can craft. Oh, first try. You can use to get flint and steel, and maybe don't craft it up right away, because some situations you don't need flint and steel, but you'll see why all of this stuff is important soon enough. Now, the whole idea behind this playing style and this whole getting good thing is the best way to play Minecraft, I'd say. I mean, because everybody can play it different, but the way that I and many other people have found to be the most fun and the most rewarding, most addicting, is to play like this. This is the speedrunner style. Notice I haven't made like a base yet, and kind of just traveling the world, looting all of his resources. So the whole thing behind the faster you go, the less likely you are to die. Like, the longer that you prepare something, then the more likely it is to go wrong. In Minecraft, that's kind of the whole idea behind this. And also, it's that Elytra. Elytra is an endgame item that you get in the end, which is like after you beat the game, that allows you to literally fly. And it does sound overpowered. It's not really. It's the perfect amount of powered. It can help you avoid so many deaths. And so if you kind of speedrun to get those Elytra at the end, then it will really help you for like the rest of the world to like not die. Also, it just makes it so that if you do die in a world, you're less attached until you get to that end point. When you get to that end point, you're less likely to die. So if you die early on, like bad luck, we all die, it happens to the best of us, but if you die early on, then you don't get as sad. This is why it's the most addicting. A lot of people who play the normal kind of like build a base, like traditional gameplay style, a lot of people get discouraged after they die. Like, get really sad. It's happened to me. I used to play like that. But this style, not so much. And if you say that that's not your playing style, at least try it, please. Try all the tips and styles that I show in this video, because it really is very fun. Everybody who does it gets way more out of the game. You'll see those big Minecraft YouTubers who can play a world even after beating it for a really long time, and it's because many of them, like most of the greats, play this style, and that's why people watch them, because they're so good at Minecraft. So after that long ramble, the next thing you want is you have all your iron gear and stuff. So, oh, and water buckets, very important. They're important because one, they can stop you from taking long fall damage like that. And yes, I did do that from Y750, so then the chat message would disappear before I got to the ground. And two, lava pools. This is the next step. Look for a lava pool. They're most common in these savanna biomes and deserts especially. They're very famous for being in deserts all the time. You can find them in forests. Plains are also pretty good biomes for them, but in forests, you can't really see them. Also, by the way, be sure to kill animals when looking for these, like while you're running, and you can smelt them, especially smelt some while you do what I'm about to explain. So, the reasons lava pools are so important is because of the nether. It's important because the blaze rods are essential to beating the game, and you want to find a nether fortress. So, what you do is when you have a lava pool, you look for a 4 wide area, or 1 by 4, so like right here, 1 by 4, because if you can't find one at the edge, you can always do one like in the middle, like there or something. But this one's especially good because it already has what we need. See, this one is 1 by 4, but a block in the middle. When we find this 4 by 1 area, place a block in the middle, and then on it, make sure not to look down like this. Just don't do it. Place it on the side, and then mine, or you could mine and then place it on the side. And I'm gonna do it over here, because this one was naturally generating, and that's cool. And if you have these 2 blocks that aren't obsidian, mine them away, and use your bucket and place it under there. But you want at least one of these 2 blocks, preferably both of them, to be not obsidian. So you can mine it away, then back here, 3 blocks up like that, and you build that. So then you can place water on, or like this, I believe, to stop the water flowing in, because, yeah, it happens to the best of us. Sometimes water does that, and it's really sad. Figure out how to before I continue on with how to build the portal, yeah, that's one other thing. How to get good at Minecraft, even I'm not perfect. We all die sometimes. Just practice. Don't get discouraged by your mistakes. Don't quit Minecraft. That's the big problem with playing the other way. When you die, you really feel like quitting, and so you often do quit. So don't do that. And the next thing also is don't play with cheats. Maybe like your very first time, maybe like following along with this video to practice some of the later game stuff. I mean, it's fine practicing later game stuff, but besides that, never use cheats, okay? You'll find it so much more rewarding, even if it's just like a little bit of cheating. You'll find it so much more rewarding if you don't, and it'll be easier to get used to it when you do more like official stuff. I'm just showing you how to do this stuff, so I can use it for demonstration purposes. Anyway, so you're at this state. Hopefully it didn't overflow like mine. That's really sad. But yeah, you'll gather lava and build it 2 blocks high on there. You can see we're starting to form another portal. Remember, the corners don't have to be formed for the portal to work. And then on this side, you actually place 1 more lava bucket up here. And that's so then you can do this. On this side right here, you do that. Do that. Now you have this portal. If you do mess up, maybe try it again on a different side, but oh yeah, always be careful jumping around these kinds of things as well. Then you light it, and if you have a bed, set your spawn point, but it is also good to just practice not needing one. Okay, and once you've done that, well, make sure to stay away from piglins for a sec. Craft up gold, and you'll need at least 4, but preferably 5. Okay, this is good. And then craft up boots, or preferably a helmet, because it actually gives you the exact same amount of protection as an iron helmet. Anyway, so now that you have gold on, piglin don't get mad at you when you have gold on, unless you like punch them or something like that. So I spawned by enderman, so I'm gonna cover this part. Place a boat right next to them, so you can't place a boat inside of enderman, but place it near them. That one hopped right in, but what you will usually have to do is you can kind of crouch, you can kind of just like push him in. So anyway, attack him. Oh yeah, don't get too close. And if you get like something else in here, like a piglet, something you can do, just aim for the boat. But also, if you do F3, which we're gonna talk about in a sec, the F3 screen, this screen, I know that it looks super cluttered, and players, when they begin using Java Edition, they really don't like using this, but trust me, it'll come in handy so much. You don't have to have it on all the time. It does get annoying. You can turn it on and off by pressing F3 on your keyboard, and if that doesn't work, FN F3. But anyway, press F3 and B, so hold F3 and press B, and you can see these hitboxes, and then you can just hit only the boat hitbox. Okay, now this is the perfect spot to talk about well, first of all, collect mushrooms whenever you see them, both types. I'll cover this in a sec. It's for a slightly more advanced reason than you might think. Okay, this is the perfect time now to talk about the F3 screen. Press the F3 button on your keyboard, and you will get all of this fun stuff. And I am going to be explaining in detail what all this means. Don't skip forward. This is all actually really helpful. There's a reason they have this in the game, and it won't actually take too long. I'm going to put myself in here. Oops. Oh well. So, up here, it tells you your Minecraft version. If you're using mods, then it'll tell you that you're using mods. This right here is your frame rate. If you notice that your frame rate doesn't change notice mine is staying at 119, it's because in options and video settings, my maximum frame rate is 120. You might be wondering why this would be useful at all. If you have it at unlimited and your computer's going too fast, it can kind of run out the battery and can make some chunky mouse movement. So that's frame rate. It tells you your video settings. I'll maybe get into this a little bit more detail in a different video, but basically every meaningful action in Minecraft can only be performed every 20th of a second, or called a Minecraft tick. And this is just saying how many like milliseconds in between or something. I don't know, I think that 7 and 6 are pretty good. I don't know what this is. Okay, this is one of the more important ones. All the others are kind of just for FPS is pretty useful, but this, I'm gonna have to show you it in action. So you see I look around that number up there, that E changes. The first one tells me how many entities are on my screen. Or not on my screen, but I'm looking in the direction. So an entity includes something like a ghast, as you just heard. So like monsters. It counts as animals as well. And items, and like item frames. It's basically anything that's not a block. So you see it says that out of that, you can see on my screen right now, there's 31 entities that I'm looking at in that direction, and there's 120 entities like just in general. We'll see if I kind of look over here. If you look in one direction, especially if you change your FOV to something really low, and you look in one direction and it goes like really high and you're in the nether, that means that there might be a bastion remnant over there. We'll talk about that more later. This right here is what most players use the F3 screen for on a regular basis. This tells you your exact position. Down here it tells you your block. This thing right here, especially right here, is very important. This is where I am in a chunk. Chunk is 16 by 16 area. and this tells me where I am. In maybe part 2 or 3, we'll go over things you can find with it. This is, just trust me, it's really useful for finding stuff like buried treasure and the stronghold, and it's so overpowered, it's like almost cheating, but it's not. And then this tells you which chunk you're in. This is useful for if you want slime chunks or something. You can just divide your coordinates by 16, and that's how you find it. Facing, I mean, pretty obvious. You'll notice my cursor is a red, blue, and green thing when I open F3. Green shows which direction's up. Red shows which direction's in the positive X, so east. And then south is positive Z, which is blue. That facing is pretty good. Trust me, it's super useful. Biome, nether waste, this is useful for, I mean, pretty obvious. So yeah, the F3 screen, you can kind of get used to it. Practice having it on sometimes. It's actually really useful. I know it does block up your screen, but trust me, it'll be much better if you use it. You can punch back gas things even without a sword. You can punch it back with anything. Probably don't run into it like I just did though. Okay, the next thing, this is some all of this stuff has been kind of basics. A lot of you probably know. Trust me, I have some really good stuff in this series. I'm sure some of that F3 stuff you didn't know. But this right here is one of the coolest, and you'll look so smart. You'll look like so smart. You'll look like you're hacking or something. But what I'm about to reveal to you is the real, legitimate, non-cheating way to find a fortress in your world. Like, pinpoint your fortress with very high accuracy. It's insane. And I'm about to reveal it to you. Hold shift, press F3, and you'll see this pie down here. That's kind of what that debug pie thing was saying. Okay, this pie thing shows you what's causing the most lag in your world. And it's, yours should say game renderer top, that's healthy. Anyway, so you're in this. You don't have to enter chat to do this, otherwise if I type in the numbers, it just types it in not chat. And this will also move your like hotbar around a little, but that's okay. You can't really read it here, it's easier to read on your own screen, but it says 1 game renderer, 2 update display, 3 FPS Pie, and then 4 tick. It's different for everyone, but my thing that says tick right now is 4. So you click 4 on the keyboard. And now it's inside of tick. And then go to level, -1, and then go to block entities, which is often 4. Okay, right now it's green, showing that there aren't any fortresses within a 12 chunk radius. What I can do, and also I'm going to get under here so ghasts don't attack me, is options and video settings. Set your render distance pretty high. Also, make sure that this entity distance thing is pretty high usually as well. And you'll see, now there's chest on it. Ooh, and now there's mob spawner on it. Okay, that blue mob spawner thing is good, okay? What you can do is turn it off, just press F3, and go to video settings, turn it down more, and then go to it again. And keep going until you don't have that blue on your screen anymore. And you notice that I still have it because of my 12. You actually have to go down kind of 4 chunks and turn it on and off again before it happens. Yeah, sometimes some weird stuff can happen. It's still showing up even though I messed around with it. So you can just save and quit. Or, sorry, save and come back. And you'll notice while these chunks are loading in, yep, nothing again. And turn your render distance up and up until it works. Oh yeah, so 14 render distance. You can see then that's where 14 chunks, which is 14 times 16 blocks away, is where this is. And you can also do F3G, which shows chunk borders. You can go into a different chunk and you can try this. Okay, still shows up. Still shows up. Oh, okay, so this chunk is where it doesn't show up. So you can see that it's in that direction. But not only in that direction, so it shows up in this chunk. I already go over here. Okay, still shows up. Very strongly, actually. You go over here. Aha! So you can see it's in this direction, or you can see it is in this direction, 14 chunks. Now, one thing about this is you might be thinking to yourself, there is actually one other structure in the Nether that has a mob. Oh, this is okay. That's one of the reasons why you need a shield. I did not have one. I died. I forgot to craft another. Yeah, when you find a mob, don't ever try to kill it. Like, don't ever battle a mob unless you need to. Anyway, so it's in this direction. You can turn off chunk borders if you want, because I know it is annoying. I suggest getting a practice world that is cheats and has keep inventory on, and give yourself a bunch of blocks practice, jumping around, placing blocks, doing your water bucket clutches. Good to practice all of that. That's how I got to be able to do all this. But anyway, yeah. So you may be saying that there is another Minecraft structure. Oh, you have see fortress right there. There is a chance it could be a treasure bastion, is what I'm trying to say. But even if it is a treasure bastion, then that's good because bastions are good. That's part of the progression for Minecraft. You can do it without a bastion, because you need the ender pearls. You can just get them from endermen. It is much slower, but it's definitely a safer option. Anyway, so we're in this fortress now, and ooh, boom, look for the blaze spawner. I found it, and so they shot like under me. That's sad. Kind of sucks, but yeah, you could just hold up your shield to stop their blast from getting to you. Make sure you have plenty of food. Oh, and don't eat while they're shooting at you. Keep going until you have like around 8 blaze rods. Yes! Okay, so you should have enough wood from earlier to craft up a bowl. And then craft yourself up some mushroom stew, but put a dandelion in the recipe. So why this works, and I'll try to explain it while I play. It might be, oh my goodness. Okay, so on Java Edition, you can add a flower to the recipe, and it changes the mushroom stew to suspicious stew. And depending on which flower you use, also this is good. You can mine up the spawner when you're done. Just don't do it on public servers, because it'll be annoying. Also, probably don't mine it up, or if you die and want to come back there later. But anyway, in Minecraft, this is a very important thing, by the way. Then there's this thing called saturation. Okay, you notice when I eat this, right away it gives me health points, and like each different food gives a different amount of hunger points back. That's what most players know about. But there's a hidden secret bar called saturation, and it's how long it takes you to run out. So notice I've kind of been running as well, and I haven't run out of hunger yet. That's because pork chops are a really good food source for saturation. Once your saturation runs out, then you lose some hunger. And if your hunger's high enough, then you regain health. And you regain health also depending on how much saturation you have left. So see, I still haven't ran out, because pork chops are really good. If I were, see, it went down right now. If I were instead to have eaten something really bad, like sweet berries are a good example. Sweet berries are terrible for saturation. Then I would not be doing so well. I would run out of hunger almost immediately, and I'd have to eat a whole lot of them. And I wouldn't regenerate as fast. So you notice I regenerated pretty quickly there. Now, use these sparingly. Don't eat them all just at once, but for demonstration purposes, I am going to show. Watch how fast I regenerate. It's faster than regeneration potions. So, yeah, that's why dandelion mushroom stew is so overpowered. It's so good. Always be collecting dandelions in your spare time. Now, after you have your blaze rods, of course, you want to get ender pearls, and you could do this with endermen like I just did, but you could also use bastion remnants. Okay, so now I have teleported close to a bastion remnant just to like show you, but you can do this anyway. So to find bastions, that entity counter up there that I talked about earlier, you're going to want to notice it. See how high the second number is? 140. That means that there's definitely a bastion nearby. If it's higher than like 110 or something. Or also sometimes when it's a bit lower than that, you can change your FOV to lower, and you can see in that direction over there, there's a bastion. And if it's like close enough, you don't even have to turn your FOV down too much. So you see, if I look at this direction, there's 70 mobs. And that's not common, especially for this biome, because all there are in this biome is just like skeletons. Oh, and boom, there it is. I do notice actually you have to go to video settings, turn your entity distance up. You can turn it to like 500. But yeah, this is how you can do like view settings and then like render distance up. I actually gotta turn that back down. So this right here is a treasure bastion. I recommend you look at a bastion routing video, but this is a treasure bastion. You can tell because this big center spot and there's that. Okay, so even though we have gold on, piglin brutes, they hate us. This is why it's good to have lava. Oops. So, if I could get the attention of another one over here, well, notice what I did is I didn't place lava right here, because even though it would start hurting it, you'd actually be able to swim up it a little bit and be able to reach me. See, I'm 2 blocks ahead of him. He can't reach me unless he's like doing that. So don't place lava. I'd probably do this beforehand, or I'd step backwards and I'd do it from here. That's kind of why I was going over here. But you just fell in anyway. See, oh, okay, or just do that, I guess. Wow, they are really bad. Distract them. And why the heck are you not getting distracted? Yeah, get distracted. Let's see if we can do this. This is a really dangerous place. Don't be like running in too much. Piglin brutes. Make sure to have, what I like to have is, in my music and sounds, have subtitles on. It is kind of hard to get used to at first. It's kind of weird. It's like, why would I need subtitles for Minecraft? It's a video game. But it actually gets really useful. It tells you if it hears a piglin brute or if it's a normal piglet. Now this part I'm gonna need to concentrate. Boom. Do that to them. I'm gonna get that mob spawner over there, otherwise the cubes are going to bug me. Yeah, like that. And make sure that the magma cubes don't get you while you do this. And just start mining the gold. And then boom. Oh yeah, look at how good loot that is. Put that on. Feeling so protected. Yeah, see, they try to get you, but they can't. Oh dang. Yeah, don't let that guy hit you even like once. Anyway, so now that there's less piglin brutes here, throw gold at these kids. Jump down here, be careful, make sure there's no piglin. Oh yeah, see. And then golden carrots, besides the dandelion mushroom stew, I think it is actually, it's golden carrots that have the higher saturation. So yeah, golden carrots are super OP, especially since they can stack and like the dandelion stew can't. So yeah, check the chests. Oh, and yes, from that chest I did get enough obsidian, so you can now come back to the overworld. You can also just find where your original portal was. Alright, let's go. Probably be holding your shield because we have 1.18 on. You spawn in a cave, so be ready to just like pillar out. And unfortunately, that is where we have to conclude today. This was originally going to be one part, like one big part all about beating the game, and also there's a bunch of stuff at the end about MLGs and mobs, which I know many of you out there really want to see. So unfortunately, that is part 1. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for watching till the end. And if this helps you, then make sure to like and subscribe.